So this is the next edition of Living in Spain, and today I'm at Javea, and Javea is one of the most expensive places you can find to live in Spain. According to the Olive Press, which is an article I read this week, they were saying that Javea is the most expensive area in the Valencian region to live, to buy property, and it's the 5th location in Spain. So it's obviously quite an expensive place to live, but it's a beautiful place to live. And if you have the money, then that's great. I've looked at what I could find cheap wise, and I found 1-bed apartments, 1 bathroom for 80 to 100,000 euros. So that for me is not a bad starting point, 80,000, if you can get something for that in this area. Especially if you're a single person or even a couple, 1 bedroom is more than enough. And so that's a good situation to find. But if you want 3-4 bedrooms, family home, you're looking at a lot of money. But if you can afford it, if you've got the budget, then go for it. Schools, this is the next point I'm making. Schools, if you want your children to go to ordinary school, then that is free, just like it is in a lot of other countries, including England. If you want them to go to private school, like it is everywhere else, you have to pay. And a lot of people do budget for this. They save throughout the early years so their children can go to private school. And there are a couple of good ones here. I'll put all the information in the information box for you to save the video going on too long. But there are options for you for private schooling. And they go from 2 years old up to 18. So it's the whole span of their school life, apart from obviously university. So it's a good place. So you can they go to the same place for the whole 16 years. So anyway, all those details will be in the information box. So that's the first 2 sections. Now on. This is one of the restaurants here, which is a favourite of mine, Javea. They have 2 restaurants, one either side of this alleyway, which is quite nice. Food here is excellent. I thoroughly recommend it if you're coming down here. This is part of a group of restaurants. I believe the owners have either 5 or 6 restaurants scattered all over. It's very popular. Very popular indeed. You never see this place empty, and in high season you're more likely going to be queuing to actually get a meal. But it's right on the front, as you can see as I've walked through. The beach looks pretty busy. In case you want to know, there is approximately 4,500 expat Brits living in the Javea area, which equates to about 49% of foreigners actually living there. So the total is 49%, but 4,500 Brit expats. So just a bit of information for you. They have an information desk at the council for foreigners, and I've talked about this before with Xàbia, and they will help you with anything. So if you want Spanish lessons, or you need to go to social services or anything like that, then you can go there and you can talk to them, and they've got someone who speaks English. It won't be an issue. And of course, they are offering the same system as Xàbia, which is the Pangaea system, which will help you to sort out whatever problems you have in this area. So I think that Pangaea, I've never used it, but obviously it's quite a good system. I had a few people comment about it, so it's obviously quite good. But the one thing that, and I've talked about this before on other video, the padrón, they want you to go on the padrón so they can count the numbers, see who lives in the area. They want all your details on the padrón. And if you're going to buy a car when you're over here and lots of other things, you need a padrón. So that is very important, that you get that and you get all the details on their system. If you want to go shopping over here, or in this area, sorry, not over here. If you want to go shopping in the Javea area, there are no big shops. No big shops at all. It's all small stuff. So if you want to go shopping for the bigger stores, you need to go into Ondara, the shopping mall, and the portal, Ondara portal, which is very close to where I live. They've got about 100 stores in there. I've got a video of that on my system, so if you want to have a look at that, you can see what stores they have got. And the other place, of course, is Denia itself. Going to Denia, lots of shops and things in Denia, but I'm afraid that you have to come out of Javea to do any big shops. Obviously, food shopping, you go to any supermarket. I'm talking about the other stuff, really. So you're going to have to do that. Transport links. The two airports are pretty close to each other. There's not a great deal of distance between each one. So I think you could go to either one, or if people are coming to visit you, they could obviously fly into either Valencia or Alicante. I really don't think there's a great deal of distance. There might be a few kilometres in it, but really not that much. The one thing about Javea is there's no high-rise buildings like you have in places like Clot or Benidorm. So it's all very sort of low-rise, which I think is, I think it's, my personal opinion, I think it's nicer not to have those gigantic towers everywhere, especially, you know, in Benidorm. Not everyone's liking. Right, what can you do in Javea for your leisure time? Obviously, you've got the beach. You've got restaurants, but other things, there's a cinema here in the old town. No, sorry, not the old town, in the port. So in the port, there's a cinema. The old town is very pretty. I've not really covered it in this, but prices in the old town are not cheap either. So I think you could take the whole, like the port, the Arenal and the old town as one, really, because I didn't find much, you know, and the cheap way of property at all. So going back to the property. But the restaurants in the Arenal are fabulous, some fabulous restaurants. So you have a marina, 280 berth marina, which I've looked at. And at the port end, they have a fishing fleet here. So they do bring their own fish in every day. So fresh fish is something, if you like, you're going to get lots of. It's going to be very, very nice. There are lots of water activities, scuba diving, there's kayak excursions where they take you out, summer or other, which is available, windsurfing, kite surfing, and you've got bike tours as well. They take you out for 3 hours, I think it is, I read, and they take you touring around on the bikes. So that's something else that, because a lot of people are into biking, there's always a lot of people here from different countries biking. Especially up in the mountains, they absolutely love it. So if you're one of those people, then, you know, that's something you can do. Weather-wise, I've been asked, you know, what's the weather like, you know, in October, November? Well, you know, the weather over here in those months are quite good. What you will get is you'll get very sort of sunny days, and then up to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's great. You can sit outside and you can really enjoy it. After that, when the sun starts going down, it gets bitterly cold, and you've got to get yourself indoors. I've got friends that have had a house here for some time now, a few years, and they've often had barbecues at Christmas, like Christmas Eve. They'd have a barbecue with maybe 15 or 20 people, and I've been to those on a few occasions, and they always have the barbecues outside. And then, as I say, up to 4 o'clock, you're fine. After that, you've got to go indoors. So the weather really is quite good. And I asked them, you know, I asked Kim, the wife, you know, what's the 5 good points and what's the 5 bad points for Javea. So this is what she told me. She said that the 5 good things are the location, the beach, the restaurants, the weather, and it's peaceful. It's not peaceful in July and August. It's very busy in July and August, but the rest of the time it's very nice. And the bad things that obviously she had to answer that as well. And she said it's expensive. There's no real shops, which is what I've covered. Some areas are run down. I'm not quite sure what she meant about that, but obviously they live here, so they must know. And the main bins are not emptied enough, so that's obviously an issue. And there's a new one-way system that they put into place, I think it was last year, where there's one way from the port all the way to the Arenal, which people have found a bit of a pain in the bum, because you can only go one way, obviously, now. And a lot of people don't like that, and obviously her and her husband Gary, they don't like that either. So I'm sure there's lots of other people that are not happy with that, but that's what she said anyway. So that's her 5 good, 5 bad. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's been informative for you, and if it has, please subscribe, please ring the bell, and maybe watch some other videos at the same time. Okay, thanks, bye, ciao.